Hi everyone, it's Systems and Solutions here again. So I'm just going to take you through a quick guide of what's involved in our free health checks. So this is a health check you can book at the shop here that's totally free. If you notice your machine's particularly getting slow or really long boot up times or long shutdown times or things are freezing when you're using it, then it's a good idea to book it in for a free health check, because there's a lot of things that we check that can remedy these problems and actually get your machine back to normal sort of life for you. So I'll just go through exactly what we check. So just to briefly summarize what we do, so the startup items we check. So these are programs that when you first turn your machine on, these programs will try and load up as well at the same time. So as Windows is booting, it will have a list of programs that will then also try and boot, that will then be running in the background. So as you can imagine, if there's a lot of these programs being told to boot up, then this can decrease the speed in the machine, as it's taking a lot more of the resources to boot everything, and you'll find that the boot up time is a lot longer. So we just assess what items are in here and remove the unnecessary programs that are being told to boot up, and that should help your boot up times considerably. We then check the system drivers, so we just check that the hardware installed doesn't have any errors coming up with any of the drivers installed, and we remedy any issues with those by installing the latest drivers for you. We then check the third-party updates, so all the software on your computer, we check it's got the most up-to-date version. If it hasn't, then we update those to the most current version. This is a security thing we do mainly that helps you. If you have out-of-date software on there, then you're more likely to get infections and things come through out-of-date software. So that's why we run this scan and then update all your software to the current version. We then run some large virus and malware scans just to help cleanse the entire system of any infections that we've got on there. So we clear off everything on there that we detect, from Trojans and cookies and things we call PUPs, which is potentially unwanted programs, anything like that we totally scan and remove. We then check your resource monitor. So this is a monitor that tells us how much the CPU, the RAM and the disk is in use. So if your machine, when we boot it on to just Windows, shows a high usage for any of those, then this could be a cause for why your machine is feeling slow, if it's taking up a lot of RAM or CPU just to maintain the Windows itself. So we can investigate what processors or what programs are taking up those resources, and we can make any adjustments we need to, if we can, to help speed up the system that way. We then check your event viewer log. So this is just a log that shows any alerts that have happened since you've had the machine in sort of the recent history of it. So if there's any obvious issues shown on there with, like, the machine keeps crashing because of a power issue or things like that, it shows up in the event viewer log and we can see that, and then we can make a judgment from there of what's been going on. We then check your backup, so we just make sure there's a backup set up. You might not have a backup set up, which is fine, we wouldn't check it then, but some customers who've had in have got a backup set up. They assumed it's been backing up for a while, but when we've actually run checks on it, it's not even been doing a backup correctly, and in some cases hasn't backed up for more than a year, so quite a cause of concern there if they've got a backup, because they've got a lot of pictures and photos they want to keep backed up. So we do a free check on that and just make sure the backup's running correctly. We then check all the Windows updates, so we just make sure Windows is fully up to date and there's no stuck updates on there. Occasionally Windows has had some issues where updates have come out that have stuck up certain percentages. These then have to be manually applied, these updates, so we would manually apply the updates to clear them through and then allow the rest of the backlog to come through and then keep the machine up to date. So that's basically what we do on a health check. You'll find most of that really helps speed up the machine. All of those checks are totally free of charge, so what you do is you bring in your machine, we do all those checks for you, we'll give you a call, let you know exactly everything we found and all the things that we could do to remedy any problems. And if you want us to go ahead from there, then we can go ahead and do that for you. So there is a link on this video if you want to book in for a health check. It takes you straight to an online booking form, and you can literally book a day and a time that you want to bring it in, and then we take it from there. Okay, thank you for listening.